Imagine a mountain of food, towering over the tallest skyscraper, all going to waste. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet that's precisely what's happening globally. Every year, approximately 1/3 of all food produced for human consumption is wasted. That's around 1.3 billion tons of food. To put that in perspective, that's enough food to fill up 100,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And it's not just about the food. The economic cost is staggering. Globally, we're throwing away nearly $1 trillion worth of food annually. That's equivalent to the GDP of some of the world's biggest economies. But perhaps even more concerning is the environmental impact. Food wastage contributes to 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than most countries produce. This wasted food, if it were a country, would be the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases, after China and the United States. So we aren't just talking about a couple of leftovers here, it's a worldwide problem of epic proportions. Now, such a colossal waste doesn't just happen overnight. It has root causes deeply embedded in our society. Firstly, let's talk about overproduction. In a world where we're constantly striving for abundance, we often end up with excess. Whether it's a farmer growing more crops than he can sell, or a supermarket stocking more food than it can shift before the expiry date, overproduction is a significant factor contributing to food wastage. Next, we have the issue of inadequate storage and distribution. You see, once the food leaves the farms, it enters a complex network of storage facilities, transportation systems, and retail outlets. Unfortunately, not all of these nodes are created equal. Some lack the necessary infrastructure to store food properly, leading to spoilage. Others may not have efficient distribution systems in place, causing delays that can result in food going bad before it reaches the consumer. Then, we have consumer behavior. That's right, the way you and I behave can be a big part of the problem. We often buy more than we need, seduced by buy one get one free offers or lured by the allure of a fully stocked fridge. We might also throw away perfectly good food because it's a day past its best before date, not realizing that these dates are often conservative estimates and not hard rules. Finally, there's a lack of awareness. Many of us are simply unaware of the scale of the problem and how our actions contribute to it. We might not realize that throwing away a half-eaten apple or a slice of bread contributes to a global issue that has serious environmental, economic, and social implications. So you see, the causes of food waste are manifold and complex. They're rooted in our agricultural systems, our supply chains, our shopping habits, and our perceptions of food. It's clear that the problem is complex, involving everything from agriculture to your dinner plate. This isn't just about wasted food, it's about wasted resources and opportunities as well. When we talk about food wastage, we often focus on the obvious, the edible items thrown away. But there's a much larger picture to consider. Every time food is wasted, it's not just the food itself that's lost, it's a whole series of resources that have been used in vain. Think about it. To grow food, we need water. Lots of it. In fact, agriculture accounts for about 70% of global freshwater usage. When we waste food, we're also wasting the water that was used to grow it. And it's not just water. The land used to grow crops and raise animals is another resource that's wasted when food is discarded. From the deforestation to make way for farmland to the energy used in harvesting, transportation, and storage, we're talking about a significant amount of resources that are wasted when food doesn't make it from farm to fork. And then, there's the issue of climate change. Food production contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. When we throw away food, we're essentially tossing out all the energy that was used to produce it. That's energy that could have been used elsewhere, and greenhouse gases that didn't need to be released into the atmosphere. In a world where 1 in 9 people are undernourished, the wasted food, if properly managed, could feed the hungry several times over. So every time we waste food, we're not just wasting resources, we're missing an opportunity to alleviate hunger, to make a difference in the lives of those less fortunate. But it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is that we all have the power to make a difference. By being mindful of our consumption habits, by making an effort to reduce waste, we can help turn the tide. Indeed, every morsel wasted is a missed chance to make the world a better place. You might be thinking, what can I do? The answer is, more than you think. In the grand scheme of food wastage, it's easy to feel like a small fish in a big pond. But in reality, each and every one of us holds a significant piece of the puzzle in our hands. It begins with understanding that our individual actions can make a world of difference. Consider this: reducing food purchases. It's simple math, really. The less food you buy, the less food gets wasted. By being mindful of your shopping habits, you can help to curb the issue of excessive food wastage. And it's not just about buying less, it's about buying smart. Planning meals ahead of time, for instance, is a great way to ensure you only buy what you need. And let's not forget about proper food storage. How many times have we discovered a forgotten bag of lettuce at the back of the fridge, only to toss it in the bin? By learning how to store food properly, we can extend its shelf life and reduce waste. Lastly, let's talk about ugly produce. Society has conditioned us to seek out the perfect apple, the flawless potato, the pristine carrot. But in reality, the oddly shaped, slightly blemished, ugly produce is just as nutritious and tasty. Embracing these misunderstood fruits and vegetables can significantly reduce food waste. After all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that applies to produce too. Each of these steps may seem small on their own, but collectively, they can make a significant impact. It's about shifting our mindset, changing our habits, and understanding that every little bit helps. There's power in one person making a change, power in one person inspiring another, power in one person standing up against food wastage, and that person could be you. Remember, change starts with you. But this isn't a battle you have to fight alone. There are many ways to join the fight against food wastage. Everywhere around the globe, initiatives are sprouting up to tackle this issue head-on. Non-profit organizations like Food Recovery Network and Feeding America are working tirelessly to bridge the gap between excess food and those in need. They rescue millions of pounds of fresh food that would otherwise go to waste and redirect it to food banks and shelters. Beyond these commendable organizations, there are also policy changes that can make a significant difference. The Good Samaritan Food Donation Act, for instance, encourages businesses and organizations to donate surplus food by protecting them from potential liability. It's a simple change, but it has led to a substantial increase in food donations. But what about the future? That's where technology comes in. Innovative solutions are being developed to reduce food wastage before it even happens. For example, Appeal Sciences has created a plant-derived solution that can be applied to the surface of fruits and vegetables. This thin, invisible layer extends the freshness of produce, giving us more time to consume it before it spoils. And let's not forget about apps like Too Good To Go, which connect consumers to restaurants and stores with surplus food at the end of the day. This not only helps reduce food wastage, but also saves consumers money. All of these initiatives, policies, and technologies are crucial pieces of the puzzle. But remember, it's not just about the big picture. Each of us can play a part in our own homes and communities. By planning meals, using leftovers creatively, and understanding best before dates, we can significantly reduce our own food waste. The fight against food wastage isn't a solitary one, it's a collective effort, a movement that needs every one of us to take action. And the good news is, there are plenty of ways to get involved. Together, we can turn the tide against food wastage. So, let's quickly run through what we've learned today. We've delved into the astonishing scale of food wastage, a problem that stretches from our homes to the global stage. We've peeled back the layers to understand the root causes, from overproduction and inefficient distribution to our own buying and cooking habits. We've also seen how this wastage represents a missed opportunity. The food we waste could feed millions, and the resources squandered in its production could be channeled into more sustainable practices. But it's not all doom and gloom. Each one of us holds the power to make a difference. By making small changes in our daily routines, reducing our waste and supporting businesses that do the same, we can contribute to a more sustainable and equitable food system. Remember, every bite counts. So next time you sit down for a meal, think about the difference you can make.
Stay happy and safe. Don't forget to smile. Thank you. Leave a comment below. Like, share, subscribe.